Hey everyone, and welcome to the NALCS Lounge. I'm Zirene, joined by Prolly and Nadeshot from 100 Thieves. How are you guys doing after, I don't want to say that beating that you took earlier. It was actually a pretty one-sided beating.
Whoa, a beating?
Wait, okay, not a beating. It was...
I don't remember. I don't even know what game you guys are talking about. I've already blacked that memory out of my mind.
I just woke up.
Yeah. How did we get here? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that we've strived to do is that we don't want it to be a recap. And honestly, like when you compliment the heist, I can't sit here and take too much credit. We have two people that are actually right behind you that have done incredible work. Gabriel.
They wanna like come in for a second.
Come here.
Like,
come on.
Other side of the camera for a brief second, you guys.
So this is Gabe. He used to work at 1UP with Team Liquid. Brought him over to our side, and he has single-handedly produced the heist by himself for the first 5 weeks. I mean, I've given him interviews, but he's done all the work, and it's been just unbelievable how much he's been able to get done alone. And then this is our new director of post-production. This is Logan. Funny enough, he actually used to work for 1UP and Team Liquid as well, and now he's working the heist, man. We're stealing everybody. Right. Paid by Steve, paid by the 100 Thieves, you know? But no, they've done a fantastic job, especially with this last episode. I think the biggest thing that's motivating for us is really just telling a different story and a different narrative so that when you're watching our players up on stage, there's a reason why you're supporting them because you connect with them in some way or another. We don't want to just like filter highlights together, and I'm not saying that's what other docuseries do in esports, but we just want it to be a little bit different, a little bit more emotion, and they have captured it so incredibly well, and I'm really proud of them. So tell me about today's champion select. What happened? What went well? What went wrong?
As much as I know, I win every champ select, and I'm just super good at that stuff. And when we lose, it's not my fault. My players just messed up.
Indeed.
So
terrible
I'm just so proud of myself. Yeah, what I did. But
nice job, dude. This is why we brought you over here. Back from Europe into North America, 100 Thieves. Wow. I'm just going to say 100 Thieves as a buzzword randomly throughout this entire cast so people can remember.
This is a verb, like they just 100 Thieves that.
Yeah, well, we don't want to start that with what happened today. We don't want that.
Oh, yeah.
Too late. It's already started. You 100 Thieves that early game, baby.
Oh, no.
Wow, they really just 100 Thieves that. Wow, what a mistake.
Dude, that almost happened with like Cody's son with jumping in on Tristana. Like,
yeah.
I know that moment like really stuck with him, and people were like, "Oh, he pulled a Cody son." Like, it's almost a thing at this point.
I've been learning all of my League of Legends, surprisingly not from our players or my coaching staff. I've been learning it from Reddit, and so I did see the Cody son verb in the meme start taking place.
How many of these champions do you know, Matt?
If you say the names, I know them, but
right.
by the look and the aesthetic.
You know Zirene?
I actually, yeah, I've known Rakan.
You know Rise?
Rise, I know Rise. That's who Ryu sometimes play, right?
Yeah.
He's a mid champion. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Leona.
Leona is top lane. She's the girl with the tentacles.
That's Alawi. Close.
Alawi.
Yeah, Leona. That's the support is so easy. Aftermost
support is so easy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Aftermost special champ.
But how did you meet Prolly then? Like, and get
Neil. So Neil, my first interaction, I was introduced through somebody on our business team who was helping us recruit. Sorry, do you guys want to?
No.
Oh, no,
okay.
no.
I was just checking
listening.
to see if anything's
Someone's
going on.
fighting, so I just want to see who.
Prolly's got us, yeah.
I was introduced to Neil. We did like a 2-hour-long like Skype interview, and then we did another conversation after that. But the entire process was great because one thing that stood out to me the most, we talked to a lot of coaches, a lot. And Neil was just the most outgoing and the most thoughtful, I would say, about his players and how he wanted to approach the next season. And when you can tell somebody actually cares about what they're doing, like, I think it's very apparent. And that was one thing I really loved about Neil. And the fact that he had a great track record was really impressive to me. I mean, I don't think going to Worlds from my perspective, even though I'm new to LCS, is a very easy thing to do. And the fact that he did it and was a competitor, because that's another thing for me as well. I mean, in Call of Duty, we don't really have coaches, and even then, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but I had a hard time respecting the coach aspect of like first-person shooters. Because, I mean, games like
that's
that,
completely fair.
yeah,
Even in League,
MOBAs are very strategic, and so I think a coach is necessary in many aspects, but I would have a hard time as a player if they didn't play in some way or another. Because most coaches in traditional sports play the game at a professional level. But if I had somebody who was telling me how to play or something, telling me how to do something, like, why don't you come up here and do it then, you know? But
what do you think about coaches? Should they be ex-pros?
I think you just have to be smart and try. I think you don't have to be like an ex-pro or anything like that, but like this is a job where you can clearly see when people don't try, I think. And you even see some like ex-pros go to coaching, and it's like, I'm not sure what they do, but I hear things.
Let's get some names,
and
probably.
Yeah,
Let's get some names.
It's not that great. So the ex-pro thing is like a nice thing to have. I think it helps me like connect more on like their level. When they make a mistake, it's not so like analysis driven where I'm like, you messed up here, blah blah blah. It's like I can see their thought process easier because I was a player too.
It looks like we do have a question here from @RumbleStew. Hey Nadeshot, which would you less like to be called in Call of Duty? A dirty camper or a dirty shotgun player?
None of these things. I was not, well, which would I like to be called less? A dirty shotgun player. Because I think there is still a level of finesse that you need to have with shotguns. I mean, a lot of games in past have been very assault rifle or submachine gun orientated. And if you can use a shotgun on a large map, that's impressive. That means you have a great map awareness and you know how to move. Like a camper, anybody can be a camper. Anybody can.
Yeah.
Just don't move.
It's a legitimate strategy though.
Depends on the game type.
It's my strategy
Yeah.
when I play shooters. Not very good.
That's okay. I'm not very good at MOBAs. We all have our things.
Yep. So we have a question here from Sagging Rufus. Prolly, in Champ Select, how much input do you take from the players? Do they have much of a say in what they play?
Nah, if they talk in Champ Select, then they don't get to play anything. Nah, a lot of input is the players, or the choices are from the players, because like all I can ever know is what other people know, right? Like watching other regions or watching scrims, it's not really my own information. It's like what the players have done and what they can do with certain stuff. So
anyway, we have another question here from Hi, I'm Blake Lol. Now that we're several weeks into the NALCS, what's your favorite and least favorite thing about owning an LCS team for Nadeshot?
What are my favorite and least favorite things?
other than me as your
Yeah, you can't include Prolly.
yeah, that's a given. So let's move past it.
Yeah, automatically least favorite. We know that, so.
That's a tough question. There's a lot of things that I've really enjoyed. There's not many things that I've disliked. I would say losing is definitely the toughest part, just because I don't understand the game to the point where I just see what's happening in front of me. Like, why did that just happen? Why did we allow that to happen? And so for me to not understand the very core details of the game, that's tough for me. So losing, I think, is the one thing that I've disliked the most, but I'm sure that'll never get easier in time, because I just want to see the guys be successful. Like when they're scrimming all week and they're putting as, blood, sweat, and tears and working as hard as they've had, and watching them lose, it feels bad. It really does. I think my favorite thing is just being involved in esports again. I really enjoyed my time as a player. I spent a lot of time on Optic, and I definitely, in my hiatus after retirement from Call of Duty, I've just enjoyed, being at matches and being around other people that are passionate about esports, and just being able to be on the other side of the fence to watch these young players come in. Like, it's great. I just want to be there for our team and our players. Like Cody-san, I want to stick with him forever.
Feed him Dayquil.
Yeah,
whenever he's sick.
It's just like, I feel like I learned a lot in my career, and I want to bring that experience to other players that come into the organization. I think that's the one thing I'm looking forward to the most. There's a lot of great things. I could sit here and do this entire stream off all the things that I've loved so far about it. But Blake, thank you for the great question, man.
We have another question here. This one's for Prolly from Riot Wander Camping.
This is a
Top.
big one.
Hey Prolly, what would you say are the biggest differences between coaching in the EU versus coaching in NA?
Well,
This is when you talk about me now. We talked about, come on, feed me. I'm just kidding.
Huh? Yeah.
about
This guy's here, so coaching is better. But
In and out.
one thing that's oh yeah, in and out's good. So my food side of coaching is very satisfied. But one thing that's really funny is the amount of like forfeit you do in EU. Like things are going really bad. You're like 15-0 or 0-15, sorry. And the game is just FF the game. It's like
GG go
10K
next.
gold at like 10 minutes. In NA, no one forfeits. So it's like there's I think a balance between NA and EU that we need to reach, where it's like some games are just need to be gone.
Unwinnable.
But then the bad side of it is, yeah, EU sometimes you'll just FF games for 1 kill, 2 kills. So it's like a really fine balance, but it's funny that they're both on the opposite ends of spectrum.
How do
it's
you-
like, yeah, NA just will never forfeit, and EU will always forfeit.
So one of them, you don't really learn how to like come back from mistakes, and then the other one, it's just like, well, we're wasting time, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Is that an on-stage thing? Or you're talking about scrims? Because I know in scrims.
On stage, if you forfeit, like,
Okay,
they're gonna
okay.
beat you down. But
Okay, because like I know some people who are just in scrims are like they mentally give up, and then there's people who are like, no, just always keep going, and then it's like a 1-hour game, and you don't even get the full scrim block in.
well, it's mostly just like once you get to a certain point, like neither team is playing normal anymore because it's like, hey guys, I can one-shot everyone on the enemy team. Watch this. So the games get really inefficient.